we have discussed till text 16, where Swambhu and Manu's prayers were explained. Okay. Now, text 17 onwards, Shuka Goswami will speak about the next three Manus. So, from the Swambhu Manu in third canto till here, seventh canto, eighth canto, first chapter till text 16, Swambhu Manu, first Manu only is described. Okay. Now, because first Manu itself has taken this much time, so other Manu Sukha Goswami will tell in short. Okay. So this is out of 10 topics of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is 8 canto is about Manvantar. Okay. Out of 10, Manvantar is spoken in the 8th canto. So we will go with the text 17. Okay. Sri Shuka Vacha इति मंत्रोपनिषदं व्याहरन्तं समाहितं दृष्ट्वा सुरायातु धाना जगदुम्भ अभ्यद्रवन् क्षुधा. Sri Shuka Vacha, Sri Shuka Goswami said, iti thus mantra upanishadam, the Vedic mantra uttered by Swambhu Manu, vyaharantam, taught or chanted, samahitam, concentrated the mind without being agitated by material conditions. Drishva, upon seeing him, asura, the demons, Yatu Dhana, the Rakshasa, Jagdum, desired to devour Abhya Dravan, running very fast, Shuddha, to satisfy their appetite. Okay, Shukdev Goswami continued. Swambhu Manu was thus in a trance, chanting the mantras of Vedic instruction known as the Upanishads. Upon seeing him, the Rakshasas and Asuras, being very hungry, wanted to devour him. Therefore, they ran after him with great speed. Okay, so he was doing tapasya, he was chanting the prayers, and that moment only these Rakshasas thought of eating Swambhu Manu only. Okay, they were so much hungry. Tam stavasi tanviksha yagya sarvagato hari yamai parivrato daivai tatva shasatri vishtipam. Tan, the demons and Rakshasa Tatha in that way Avasitan, who were determined to devour Swambhu Manu, Diksha upon observing Yagya Lord Vishnu, Yagya Sarvagataha, who is seated in everyone's heart, Hari, the Supreme Personality of God, and Yamai, with his sons named Yamas, Parivrata, surrounded Devai by the demigod Tattva after killing the demons, Ashasat, ruled, taking the post of Indra, three Ishtapam, the heaven. The Supreme Lord Vishnu, who sits in everyone's heart, appearing as Yagyapati, observed that the Rakshasas and demons were going before Swambhu Manu. Thus, the Lord, accompanied by his sons named the Yamas and by all the other demigods, killed the demons and Rakshasas. He then took the post of Indra and began to rule the heavenly kingdom. Okay, so this Yagya is the son of Akuti, right? The out of Akuti is one of the three daughters of Swambhu Manu, and this Yagya only came and protected Swambhu. The various names of the demigods, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Indra, and so on, are not personal names. They are names of different posts. Okay, this has been already explained that all these are posts, and when the time is up, the next person takes this post. Okay. So they are not personal names, they are different posts. In this regard, we understand that Lord Vishnu sometimes becomes Brahma or Indra when there is no superior person to occupy these posts. So it is simple only. Like I have explained yesterday, in every Manvantar, there are 6 main posts. Okay, the Manu, Manuputras, Indra, and Devatas, Saptarishi, and Manvantar Avatar. So Manvantar Avatar is specifically the post which is taken by Krishna only, in the form of his incarnation, just to overrule everything and oversee everything. Okay, because without the Krishna, even Manu cannot manage, even Indra cannot manage. Krishna is needed everywhere in all the activities. But still, if sometime these posts, if it's not like present days, post has to be filled by anyone. If a qualified person is not there, then that post will not be filled by any unqualified. But what will happen? Krishna will take that post. Okay, so here that's why Lord Yagya is taking the post of Indra. So like that, once Krishna has taken the post of sun god, so that's why his name becomes Surya Narayan. Okay, text 9. Sware chisho dutiyastu manuragne suto bhavar jimatsu sushen roche smatma pramukhas tasya chatmajaha. Swarochis dutiya, the second two, indeed Manu Agni of Agni Suta, the son Ahuva became Dyumat. Dyumat Sushen Rochishmat Pramukha, beginning with them Tasya of him Swarochisha Cha, also Arthas. The son of Agni, named Swarochisha, became the second Manu. His several sons were headed by Dyumat, Sushen and Rochisha. So now second Manu is Swarochish Manu, and he is the son of Agni. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Manvantaram Manurdeva Manuputra Sureshwara Rishyo Amsavatarasya Hare Sat Idam Uchyate. There are many incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Manu, the Manuputra, the sons of Manu, the king of the heavenly planets, and the seven great sages are all partial incarnations of the Supreme Lord. Manu himself, his sons Priyavrata and Uttanpa, the demigods created by Daksha, and the rishis like Marichi were all partial incarnations of the Lord during the reign of Swayambhuva Manu. During that time, the incarnation of the Lord as Yajna took charge of ruling the heavenly planets. Okay. The next Manu was Swarochisha. The Manus and the sages and demigods are further described in the following 11 verses. So now these upcoming verses, this 2, 3, 4, Manu's 6 positions will be Manvantara's 6 positions will be explained. Who became Manu? Who was Indra? Who was who were the Devatas, demigods, and who were Manvantara Avatar and Saptarishi, 7 sages. Okay, 7 sages will be always there. So they, through the Vedic knowledge, they guide Indra and Manu. Okay, for ruling. Tadendro Rochanaswasi Devasya Tushitadaya Ujastambhadaya Sapta Rishyo Brahmavadina. Tatra, in this Manvantara, Indra Rochanaha. Rochan, the son of Yajna, too, but Asi became Deva, Venkatsha, also Tushit Adya, Tushit and others. Urja, Stamba, Adya and others, Sapta, 7 Rishya, great saints, Brahmavadina, all faithful devotees. So now all these next 10, 11 verses are having only these names and like details. There won't be much philosophy as such. Okay. During the reign of Swaroches, second Manu, the post of Indra was assumed by Rochan, the son of Yajna. Tushita and others became the principal demigods, and Purja, Stamba, and others became the 7 saints. All of them were faithful devotees of the Lord. Vishestu Veda Shirastushita Nama Patnyabu Tasyam Jagye Tato Devi Viguratyapi Vishrutaha. Rishe of the saintly person who indeed Vedashira Tushita Nam named Patni, the wife Abhut begat Tasyam, in her womb Jagye took birth. Tataha, thereafter Deva, the Lord Vibhu indeed thus Abhi Vishrutaha, celebrated as. Vedashira was a very celebrated rishi. From the womb of his wife, whose name was Tushita, came the avatar named Vibhu. So this is another avatar. Okay. So many people have this idea only that Krishna has only 10 incarnations. So, but when you see Bhagavatam, there are many incarnation names are coming. Okay, and there are many more, and there are like infinite incarnations we cannot even count. Okay, so just now you saw Yajna, then Vibhu, and future Saptashena, and lot of incarnation names will be coming. Okay, so Ashtasi Yesterday I had discussion with some devotee. They said they did not even know the Lord Kapila. Okay, so like that, very few people have full idea. अष्टाशीति सहस्राणि मुनियो ये धृतव्रतः अन्वशिक्षन् व्रतं तस्य कौमार ब्रह्मचारिणः अष्टाशीति 88 सहस्राणि थाउजेंड मुनियः great संख्ये तो धृतव्रतः fixed in quote अन्वशिक्षन् took instruction व्रतं proposed tasya from him to Kaumara who was unmarried brahmacharina and fixed the brahmachari stage of life. Vibhu remained a brahmachari and never married throughout his life. This incarnation of Krishna. Vibhu. From him, 88,000 other saintly persons took lessons on self-control, austerity, and sincerity. Okay. तृतीय उत्तमो नाम प्रियव्रत सुतो मनु पवना सृंजयो यज्ञ होत्राद्यास्तत्सुता निर्भ. तृतीय, the third उत्तम नाम named Priyavrata of King Priyavasuta, the son Manu. He became the Manu Pavana Pavan Srinjaya Srinjaya Yajna Adya Yajnahotra and others. Tat Utaha, son of Uttam Nipa. O king, the third Manu, Uttam, was the son of King Priyavrat. Among the sons of this Manu were Pavana, Srinjay, and Yajnahotra. So, Priyavrat Maharaj, three sons will be having the post of Manu. वशिष्ठ तनया सप्तऋषिया प्रमदादया सप्तवेद श्रुता भद्रा देवा इंद्रस्तु सत्यजित. Vasishtha Tanya, the sons of Vasishtha, Sapta, seven Rishya, the sages, Pramad Adya, headed by Pramad, Satyaha, the Satyas, Veda Shurtaha, Veda Shrutas, Bhadra, Bhadras, Deva, demigods, Indra, the king of heaven, through but Satyajit, Satyajit. During the reign of third Manu, Pramada and other sons of Vasishtha became the seven sages. The Satyas, Veda Shrutas, and Bhadras became demigods, and Satyajit was selected to be Indra, king of heaven. धर्मस्य सुमृतायां तु भगवान् पुरुषोत्तमः सत्यसेन इति ख्यातो जाता सत्यव्रतैः सह. So only the names are coming. If you want to have this thing remain, you just let me know. I will share you one table where everything is written. Okay. So you will understand in which Manu, who was the Indra, who was the Devta, who was the Sun, this all thing. Okay. So we are reading 8th canto, chapter 1, text 25 for new people who join now. Okay. 8.1.25. Dharmasya, of the demigod in charge of religion, Shrunatayam, in the womb of his wife named Shrunata, to indeed Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality God, and Purusha Uttama, the Supreme Personality God, and Satyasena. Satyasen iti thus khyata, celebrated Jata, Kripar, Satyavrata, the Satyavrata Sahabhi. Okay. In this Manvantar, Supreme Personality Godhead appeared from the womb of Sunirta, who was the wife of Dharma, the demigod in charge of religion. The Lord was celebrated as Satyasena and he appeared with other demigods known as Satyavrtas. So this is another incarnation of Krishna. Okay. So this is third Manvantar. Okay. So Anritvrtatushīlan sato yaksha rakshasan bhutdroho bhutaganshavadhita satyajit sakha. Saha he Satyasen Anritvrta, who are fond of speaking lies. Doshilam, misbehaved. Asataha, miscreant. Yaksha, rakshasan, yakshas and rakshas. Bhutadruha, who were always against the progress of other living beings. Bhuta Ganan, the ghostly living entity, also Avadhi, killed Satyajit Sakha with his friend Satyasena, that is incarnation of Krishna, Satyasena along with his friend Satyajit, who was the king of heaven, Indra, killed the untruthful, impious and misbehaved Yakshas, Rakshasas and ghostly living entities who gave pains to other living beings. Chaturth, now fourth Manvantara. Okay. So third is explained, different post is explained, avatar and his activities are explained. चतुर्थ उत्तम भ्राता मनुर्नाम्ना च तामसः पृथुख्यातिर्नराकेतुर्त्याद्या दश तत्सुता चतुर्थ the fourth Manu उत्तम भ्राता the brother of Uttam Manu became the Manu Namna celebrated by the name Cha also Tamsa Tamas Prithu Khyati Khyati Nara Nara Ketu Ketu iti 10 Adya headed by Dasha 10 Tatsutaha sons of Tamas Manu. The brother of third Manu, Uttam, was celebrated by the name Tamas, and he became the fourth Manu, Tamas. Tamas had 10 sons, Manuputras, headed by Prithu. So this Prithu is different. Khyati, Nara, and Ketu. सत्यका हरियो वीरा देव श्रीशिका ईश्वरा ज्योतिर्धामादया सप्ता ऋष्यस्तामसे अंतरे सत्यका the Satyakas Hariya the Haris Veera the Veeras Deva the demigod Trishika Ishvara the king of heaven Jyotirdham Adya headed by the celebrated Jyotirdham Sapta 7 Rishyas Sejat Tamase the reign of Tamas Antre within. So now only your Gajendra Moksha platform is coming. During the reign of Tamas Manu, among the demigods were the Satyakas, Haris, and Veeras. The heavenly king Indra was Trishika. The sages in Saptarshi Dham were headed by Jyotirdham. Deva Vedritayo Nama Vitrastestanaya Nirva Nashta Kalena Yairveda Vidrata Svena Tejasa. Deva the demigods Vidritya the Vidritis Nama by the name Vidrate Vidriti of Vidriti Tanaya, who were the sons Nirva, O king, Nashta were lost, Kalena by the influence of time, Yai by whom Veda, the Vedas, Vidrita were protected, Svena by their own Tejasa power. O king, in the Tamas Manvantar, the sons of Vidriti, who were known as Vidritis, also became demigods. Since in course of time, the Vedic authority was lost, these demigods, by their own powers, protected the Vedic authority. Purport. In the Tamas Manvanta, there were two kinds of demigods, and one of them was known as Vidritis. Duty of the demigod is to protect the authorities of the Vedas. The word Devata refers to one who carries the authority of the Vedas, whereas Rakshasas are those who defy the Vedic authority. So even in present days, you don't have to go and search. You can easily understand who is trying to protect the authority of Vedas and who is trying to defy the authority of Vedas. So whoever is trying to protect the authority of Vedas, they are like demigods, and followers of Rakshasas may defy the Vedic authority. They may even say that it is all mythology. It's not true. It's not. It is all just imagination of somebody. Okay, many people think, and it is written many places as per Hindu mythology. It is not a myth; it's a history. Okay, Ram was not a myth. Krishna, this is all history. Okay, so that is why Mahabharat, that Bharat name is there. There was king named Bharat. Okay, so all those histories are, they were all history. They are not mythology. If the authority of the Vedas is lost, the entire universe becomes chaotic. It is therefore it is the duty of the demigods as well as kings and heads of governments to give full protection to the Vedic authority. Otherwise, human society will be in a chaotic condition in which there cannot be peace or prosperity. So even if we remember in the fourth canto when King Vena story was there and Prithu Maharaj there, Prabhupada gave elaborate purpose to that, right? That how a king should be. A king is considered the representative of God only. So he should make sure that Vedic authorities are protected, people are following Vedic injunctions. Why? Because it is the responsibility of king also that people progress, the citizens progress towards the spiritual path. And Prabhupada wrote very clearly there in one of the purport that if a king is not taking any responsibility of making citizens progress in the bhakti or spiritual path, then all the citizens will indulge in the sinful activities, and what will happen? 1/6 of their who will get king will get, right? Similarly, Prabhupada said in Purport, similarly it works with the parents and guru. If guru is and parents are not teaching like children and disciples, not engaging in devotional service, then there's some part they will have to get. So king is not just like some. Prabhupada said very clearly there that king is not only to go and collect taxes. Okay, simply collect taxes and enjoy that tax in king's own sense gratification. That is not right king. Okay, right king has no right to take taxes if he is not able to give them spiritual facilities for progressing in his spiritual life. Okay, then king should not take. Prabhupada wrote very clearly, king should not take such steps. King can take. King is trying to give them facility, trying to give them protection so that they can easily progress in the. So for that, king can collect tax. Okay, and that tax is again utilized for citizens, making more facilities so that they can practice spirituality very easily. Okay, so that's what king is a very responsible position. Text 30. तत्रापि यज्ञे भगवान् हरिण्या हरिमेधसा हरिरित्याहतो येन गजेन्द्रो मोचितो गृहात्. Tatrapi in that period Jagge appeared Bhagavan, the supreme personality of Godhead, Harinyan in the womb of Harini, Harimedasa, begotten by Harimedha, Hari. Iti thus Ahirta called Yena Vayu Gaja Indra, the king of the elephants, Mujta was freed from the mouth of the crocodile. Also in this Manvantar, the Supreme Lord Vishnu took birth from the womb of Harini, the wife of Harimedha, and he was known as Hari. Because mother name is Harini, father name is Harimedha, so his name becomes Hari. Hari saved his devotee Gajendra, king of the elephants, from the mouth of a crocodile. So Lord, like having this name, this is a pastime where Lord gave the credit to parents of getting name. So Hari is Krishna's eternal name. Sarv Amangal Hare iti Hari. Okay, so Hari is Krishna's eternal name. It's not like now only he got Hari. But in the Leela, he will give this kind of reciprocation to devotees so that now, like here, because of mother and father name, he took the name Hari. Like when he took incarnation as Vaikuntha, so the mother name was Vikunti, so from her he took the name Vaikuntha. But actually the name Vaikuntha is always belong to Krishna. Okay, so sometimes just to glorify the devotees, Krishna does these kind of activities. Okay, so now here again the same thing has come where Shuddha Goswami has said a pastime very short. So here this pastime is said only in one shloka. Now it is about the alertness or the attentiveness of hearer, the audience. So if you see the Gajendra Moksha pastime is completed here. Okay, just he took birth from Harini and Harimedha and he protected the king of elephant Gajendra from the mouth of crocodile. Okay, first time over. That's what he's saying in previous also. Na, he killed them like this. Okay, Yajna killed other Rakshasas and Satyasena killed other like that. He said all the past time. So this also he said like that. But in this pastime of Gajendra Moksha, actually a lot of glorification of Lord is there. Okay, Krishna's very great qualities of Krishna and devotees will come. But he said in very short. So Parikshit Maharaj is always very alert. So always he will ask, no, wait, don't go forward, just tell me more about this Leela. Okay. So Bhagavatam is designed in such a way where more glorification of Krishna or the process of bhakti or glorification of devotees is there. Those things are elaborately explained, other things are not much explained. Okay, so now here you see Sri Rajo Vacha Badarayan Ekate Shrotum Ichamahe Vayam Haririyata Gajpati Gragastam Muchuta. Sri Raja Vacha King Parikshit said, Badarayane, O son of Badarayan Vyasdev, Etate from you Shrotum. इच्छमाहे व्यासदेव एतद्दिस्ते from you श्रोतुम् इच्छामः. Desire to hear Vayam we Hari, the Lord Hari, Yata, the manner in which Gajapati, the king of the elephant, Grag Rastam, when attacked by the crocodile, Amu Muchar, delivered. Translation. King Parikshit said, my Lord Badrayani, we wish to hear. Badrayani is another name of Sukha Goswami. We wish to hear from you in detail how the king of the elephants, when attacked by a crocodile, was delivered by Hari. So this inquiry is made. If he is not, he is just simply sitting and hearing, then maybe Sukha Goswami will go further. Same thing will happen at the end of 9th canto, and where because Parikshit was inquiry, the new topics will come. Okay, that's why in Vidra Maitreya Sambad, Maitreya is saying that it is sometime because of the strong desire of audience, lot of things will come out from the heart of the speaker. Otherwise, if audience is not very enthusiastic or not very attentive and humble, submissive, then there may be case that the speaker may not reveal everything, whatever is there in his heart. So the audience enthusiasm also derive more things from speaker, and even sometimes by seeing the audience bhakti and enthusiasm and desire to know about Lord's glories, sometimes speaker Krishna will inspire the speaker, and through him Krishna will reveal so many glories. Okay, so that's why this is not one-way process. This is from both sides, Shravanam and Kirtanam. Yat kathasu mahat punyam anyam svatva jainam shubham yatra yatrottama shloko bhagavani diyate hari. Tat kathasu, in those narrations, mahat great punyam pious dhanyam glorious Swatstayanam, auspicious, Shubham, all good, Yatra, whenever, Yatra, wherever, Uttam Shloka, the Lord who is known as Uttam Shloka, he who is described by transcendental literature, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality Godhead, Yate, glorified, Hari, the Supreme Personality Godhead. Any literature or narration in which the Supreme Personality Godhead, Uttam Shloka, is described and glorified is certainly great, pure, glorious, auspicious, and all good. Okay. Krishna's another name is Uttama Shloka because he is always glorified with the best of the verses. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Krishna consciousness movement is spreading all over the world simply by describing Krishna. Okay, simply by describing Krishna, the ISKCON movement is spreading everywhere. We have published many books, including Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, 17 volumes for 100 pages each, as well as Bhagavad Gita and the Nectar of Devotion. We are also publishing Srimad Bhagavatam in 60 volumes. Okay, wherever a speaker holds discourses from these books and an audience hears him, this will create a good and auspicious situation. Prabhupada is saying we have so many books, and wherever a speaker will speak from these books of Prabhupada, and audience will hear, that will be a wonderful and auspicious situation for everyone. Therefore, the preaching of Krishna consciousness must be done very carefully by the members of Krishna consciousness movement, especially the sannyasis. This will create an auspicious atmosphere. Okay, so Prabhupada is saying that Prabhupada books should be used basically for teaching. Okay, not like other books. First basic like first thing is Prabhupada books for us. Okay, so no need to take books from other here, there, and many other books. Okay, Prabhupada is saying we have ourselves. We have so many books now. Okay, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, many volumes. Prabhupada himself gave some 70, 80 volumes. So we don't have to go here and there. Text 33. Sri Suta Vacha Parikshitaivam sa tu Badarayani प्रायोपविष्टेन तथा सुचोदितः उवाच विप्रा प्रतिनंद पार्थिवं मुद्दा मुनीनां सदेशी स्मृण्वताम् Sri Suta Vacha, Sri Suta Goswami said, Parikshita by Maharaj Parikshit, Evam Tas Saha he could indeed Badrayani. Sukdev Goswami Praya Utpishtena, Parikshit Maharaj, who was awaiting and impending death. Kathasu by the word Shodhita being encouraged, Vacha spoke to O Brahmanas. Pratinandaya, after congratulating Parthivam Maharaj Parikshit Muda with great pleasure, Hinam of great sages Sadasi, Darshan Isma, indeed Sranvatam, who desired here. Shri Goswami said, O Brahmanas, when Parikshit Maharaj, who was awaiting impending death, thus requested Shukdev Goswami to speak, Shukdev Goswami, encouraged by the king's words, offered respect to the king and spoke with great pleasure in the assembly of sages who desired to hear him. So now Shukdev Goswami will speak the Gajendra Moksha. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 8th canto, first chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Manus, Administrators of the Universe. Chapter 2 is the Elephant Gajendra's Crisis. Okay, so if there is any question now, I had planned to start Gajendra Moksha from tomorrow onwards. Now there are 20 minutes still there. So if you have any question, you can ask. Otherwise, I will start today only. Okay, any question? Till now, I have not get it.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Sorry, Prabhu, could not attend yesterday because of something. Could you explain briefly 5 minutes? Briefly, क्या हुआ था कल? कल का. Yesterday, na, you covered more 10 slokas. Briefly, थोड़ा सा illuminate in my mind.
One second. Yesterday, we discussed first 10 sloka. So, Parikshit Maharaj asked about the Krishna's activities in different manvantar. Okay. So, in return to that, Swambhu Manu still some part was painting, which was explained by Shukdev Goswami, which is Swambhu Manu taking renunciation and doing austerities. Okay. And then Swambhu Manu spoke actually some various prayers. Okay. Those prayers were mainly that Krishna is the beyond three gunas. He is transcendental to this material world. He is never touched by the material world. Okay, even though he creates, maintains, and annihilates everything, but he does through his energy, so he is beyond it. He is transcendental. Then Shambhu Manu in his prayer says that Krishna is the supreme proprietor. Everything belongs to Krishna. Okay. So we should not claim this is my, this is my, this is my. Prabhupada wrote in purport that this property, many people have idea that this is my property, this is your property. So it's not like that, because when I was not born, the land was there. Okay, so how can I say that this belongs to me? And when I die, the land will be there. So nothing belongs to us, everything belongs to Krishna. That Krishna is the supreme proprietor. And then Krishna in the form of Paramatma, he is seeing everything and he is friend of everyone. Okay. And also Krishna in 12th shloka he said that Krishna is beyond any sorts of material designations and dualities. Like dualities like Sukha Dukha and all those things. So Krishna is beyond that. And Krishna is beyond all sorts of material designations. Okay. Then Krishna is the supreme controller. Okay. So Krishna is master of everything. Okay. So like that, then Shambhu Manu says that one should always seek Krishna's shelter and avoid all the material bondage. All by accepting Krishna so to speak as our only shelter, we can easily avoid the material bondages. Okay. So in this way, Swambhu Manu, in his prayers, he concluded that the Supreme Lord Krishna is